AskReddit by Vix and Starfire. Fast food workers of Reddit, what's the most irritating part about your job? The disconnect between decisions made by upper management or corporate and what really happens on the floor. For example, you must clock out within an hour of close. But everything better be done. And also you aren't allowed to lift a finger once you've clocked out because we'll get in trouble for wage theft. But also everything better be done and you cannot clock out any later than XX. Oh, you got slammed in the last 30 minutes and weren't able to do any of your pre-closing tasks? Well, sorry, but the customers always take priority, so IDK figure it out, just to give one example of many. They want you to clock out and continue working, but they know they can't say that. Former fast food, now a professional. The worst part in retrospect is that you were expected to be constantly busy when you were on the clock, for 8 hours straight, without so much as glancing at your phone. This isn't a realistic workflow, and in the professional world, you are not treated like that. True. I was always told to look busy even when there were no clients. If I standed there, I was reprimanded. So I took a washer with me and would wash a window over and over again. So stupid. When I was younger, the thing that irritated me most about working in fast food was that the managers would always forget that I was in high school and could not work weekdays. Evenings? Yes. Weekends? Of course. Then I'd get in trouble for no showing. And it wasn't once or twice per year, it was every other month. This was not limited to one single store either. Nor one single country. I hated when the managers would make this mistake and then act like it was your problem to solve and put it on you to find coverage, and you just know half the time they were doing this because young staff didn't know better how to stand up for themselves and would let them get away with it. When customers would fight me, the window worker, on prices. Cheese being an extra $0.75 at my Jimmy John's is outrageous, I agree. I had nothing to do with it, and I don't have the power to override it. As a worker, I'm always in the air. I completely agree with you. If it was depending on me, I would change it. But you know how it is. Customer generally goes from you suck to oh, your boss suck. It reminded me this time. I do taxes for about 8 hours of the day, and once I watched a McDonald's line prep 60 minutes YouTube and their job is 5 times harder than mine. I still think of it when I'm doing too much and working too hard how I wouldn't even make it at McDonald's. When I overwork myself, I get insomnia and my mental health spirals. I can't imagine working like a machine like I saw on that YouTube. I wouldn't make it a few weeks. I worked at McDonald's and we got slammed one shift. So 3 people, including manager, on the phone trying to get people in, no wondered. 3 hours straight of customers. 20-30 minute waits and drive-through. Inside was the same. We had to close the cafe. Ice creams, frozen drinks, fraps, thick shakes. Anything that wasn't fries, burgers, nuggets or soft drink was unavailable as we literally could not restock it. After it finally died down, my manager just turned to us and said he would have killed himself if he had to have dealt with the customers. I worked there for 5.5 years. I've also worked as a first point of contact for the tax office and it was a much easier job, although still constant keep busy. 100% when customers come in 10 minutes before close. If they're nice, I'll let it slide. But showing up right before close, and you're an asshole? Grinds my gears, man. I used to work at a gym where I was basically the janitor. And there'd always be someone that used every aspect of the bathroom after I cleaned it for the last time. I realize they gotta do what they gotta do, but it was still annoying. Front desk staff would then have to wait for me to clean everything again too. I haven't worked fast food since 1995, Chick-fil-A, but I imagine the answer is the same now as it was then, the customers. This job would be great if it weren't for the fucking customers. Employees who take the job thinking this is easy work and customers who belittle employees because they think it's easy work. Guess what? Standing over a 500-degree grill while trying to get your order out in 3:30 is not actually easy. Especially when I've got one line person outside smoking. The person who needs to take my spot to deal with something else puts their earbuds in the second they think I'm not looking, and there's a different Karen on the phone complaining that their food is wrong. What's more, I bet 95% of the people crying about how fast food employees are paid enough too much could never stand up to the heat, the pace, nor the pressure. The speed at which you are to complete your tasks, and to keep that speed up for the entire 8-hour shift. My local McDonald's has gotten every order wrong for like 2 months. Always missing items. Which is baffling to me because it seems like the easiest part of putting an order together. At least I can appreciate the pressure now a bit more, but it's still annoying to keep going back to get what I ordered. Like 20 years ago when I worked there at 16, it was the predatory older woman who wanted to hang out outside of work. She ended up running out and quitting after stuffing $100 in her pocket. Funny thing is, that became a felony charge as she forgot to take off her headset valued at $500. Couldn't imagine these days. That was even before drive-through soda bombing was a thing. There was an overly flirty older female manager at the place I worked to. One would think it'd be nice if she were attractive, but even if she is, it still feels gross. Being treated like a subhuman being. Some people go out of their way to be a bunch of cruel fucking assholes because their day is bad or their life sucks. I never tampered with someone's food, but I did go out of my way to pick the stalest coffee baked goods for them. Used to work at Starbucks some time ago. Would decaf the drinks of any rude twat who entered the store, lol. It is extremely fast paced, especially if you're working at a popular food location right on a highway. I work somewhere else now, that requires a decent amount of math, double checking and a hell of a lot more money, and my co-workers are good at their job but most of them couldn't handle fast food. I always hated the Sunday and Wednesday church rushes because I always thought that the church crowd was really rude and acted like they were above everyone. I didn't like having to always seem busy if all my work was done. I hated being micromanaged. I hated the stress. And the little pay. I eventually briefly became a stripper. Church crowd was also the worst for cleaning up after themselves in any way, shape or form. That we were told, that's not in my job description, isn't an excuse. I was a delivery driver for Pizza Hut. Prepping dough, doing dishes, and delivering were in my job description. What wasn't in my job description, but in other people's descriptions, was answering phones, making orders, getting everything ready as it came out of the oven, running the fryer, and taking over a till up front. So I was one of 2 people in the store who could cash people out. That's something I noticed hard after the Navy. Civilians don't really know how to stay in their lane. I as an id couldn't be told by an N, even a chief, to do that rate's work because it'd be dangerous. I don't know shit about maintaining a ship's engine. My job is to make sure no one is watching porn on the network and to ensure our comms work. Having workers that do their job and only their job is extremely important for quality control and even the morale of people. You can't just tell someone they're doing X but then tack on Y because by default you're less prepared for it and it sacrifices quality just so some arsehole can save a few bucks. When I worked at McDonald's, it was the scams people pulled. 3 stand out to me that I can remember. One woman ordered several number 3s. Then comes back to complain that she ordered number 4s. Number 3s were cheaper and she just wanted to pay less and have extra free food by falsely complaining and having her order corrected. Management doesn't make her pay the difference and she did this several times. Another woman comes up with her burger and shows me a long black wavy hair neatly curled up in a spiral right in the middle. None of the staff had that kind of hair, but she sure did. People trying to bring receipts from other places to get replacement meals. Dumbasses brought Burger King and Wendy's receipts. I have no idea why they thought that would work. Combat. People ordering stuff on the app and never coming to get it. What do you do with the food in that instance? Do you just have to toss it? When I'm neck deep in doing some deep cleaning or restocking and a customer comes in and orders something that requires me to drop everything I'm doing to make it. Sometimes the thing I'm cleaning is essential kitchen equipment that's current state of disassembly prohibits me from being able to make whatever was ordered. But no, I'll hear front of house say we need this and we need it now with no sympathy, as they can see I don't have the equipment. Yet I'm somehow expected to clean it. Also, the general environment of apathy and incompetence coming from all the co-workers around you. It's not fun if you're one of the few fast food employees with a good work ethic or half a brain. Customers being racist towards my co-workers. You would not believe the shit white middle-aged women will say. Customers, also 100% of the time white middle-aged women, lying about how long they've waited on their food. Like no Karen, you have absolutely not waited 40 minutes, your order has a timestamp. You have waited 4 minutes. Get the fuck out of here. When I was a McDonald's manager, I once had a middle-aged white lady tell me that my 16-year-old crew member would go nowhere in life, right in front of her too. It took everything in me not to say, "Are you speaking from experience?" Worked for a fast food chicken joint. It was bad enough that I usually got stuck with cleaning the toilets, but one day I had to clean footprints off of the seat. Sleuthing around, I looked at the ceiling and noticed one of the ceiling tiles was off center. Found a crack pipe and a sandal. Those were weird times, haha. Haven't worked in a fast food restaurant in 20 years, but I remember little league teams coming in and just destroying the place. Your comment just gave me flashbacks of the panic in the store when a bus would pull into the lot. Long hours only getting paid $6 per hour. Hope this has been a few decades, or that you aren't in the US, because that's below minimum wage. Notice I said hope, as in I could see them trying to pay under. It gave me completely abnormal views of working, and at my first professional role I was such a puppy dog. My director had to explain. You don't have to ask to go for lunch. Or bring a doctor's note when you're sick. I was so pre-programmed to be micromanaged, it was completely different to be trusted to meet my goals. I would not make my kids do retail or fast food if I could avoid it. It teaches completely submissive behavior and way too much BS handling. You have to bring a doctor's note. What is it? A school year that's gonna solidly suck when I get a job, LMAO. When someone rolls up to McDick's and order 50 plain hamburgers well done and 50 order of fries no salt. People,